All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Dota League. We have 3 best of ones tonight. Typical Mistakes going up against Pain Gaming. That is the first match of the night. Sorry for the delay, everybody, but we are here. My name is Mont. Thanks for joining me. With me tonight is, of course, Aosin. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay. Could be better.
Oh, well,
could be better. I couldn't win my league games. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, those league games, man.
I blame Brax for getting me into it. Keeps talking about it. I had to try it.
It's contagious. Dota players, you got to make sure you avoid that league, unless of course you're playing with your friends, and then that's fine. That's fine. You're allowed to do that, I guess. But jumping into the game real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mont. Like I said, of course, AC is on his way to DreamHack Summer, so I will be joining you guys for the next day as well as tomorrow. And so immediately jumping into the pick band phase, we've got the Nature's Prophet as well as the Bat Rider, the IO, and the Darkseer bands coming out from the side of both Typical Mistakes and Pain. And that means Pain's going to grab the Gyrocopter with the first pick here. Typical Mistakes, they've got 2 pickups here. What do you think about these bands? Are these bands, I mean, pretty typical? The Nature's Prophet band, I'm a little surprised about, but would you use him for maybe a different band, or you kind of stick with that band there?
I think it's more of a... I think they probably scrimmed each other before. It might be a respect ban. Furion could possibly be a hero that Pain uses a lot, and they know how to use it, and they just don't want to deal with him. It's not a big deal, honestly. Like, now with the new picking and banning phase, the big change made to it, there could be anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And you talk about respect ban a little bit, and if we go back to last night, Pain Gaming, of course, playing, I believe, 2 games. They played Nature's Prophet, I believe, in both games on Mino, I'm pretty sure, and he had some great split pushing. Actually, might have been banned out in that second game against Pain International. Not 100% sure. Typical Mistakes is going to go for the Bane, also with the Lone Druid as well. They're going to have that lockdown, the Enfeeble as well early on. Pretty underrated in terms of just an ability, and Lone Druid probably played by Goody, but can be played by Cakes and can be played effectively right now. And Pain Gaming, they're going to have another pickup here in just a moment. So,
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they pick up here in retaliation to this Lone Druid. You definitely want a way to punish him now that the change to the bear has been made. You don't really... You want to avoid giving him a safe lane solo. So, Visage pickup, very, very standard, very strong hero. I'm pretty sure they're going to try their best to pressure Typical Mistakes with these 2 picks.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, absolutely, and we talk about it at great length. Anytime you see Visage pick up, I think Soul Assumption is probably the biggest deal, just because any damage that's done to you, you can deal back in pretty much 2-fold, and that's really the important thing for Visage. Grave Chill's a nice flow as well, and the Familiars, of course, with those machine guns, they can tear down buildings, they can tear down whatever, they can get some nice stuns going off between the Familiars as well, and just getting some nice setup stuns as well. We're going to go into the second band phase, however. We see the Weaver band coming out from Pain, Clockwork, and Queen of Pain going out from Typical Mistakes, and the Lifestealer. So a very quick second band phase here, and Typical Mistakes, well, they've got another pick in just a moment. Bane and Low Druid already up on their side. They can have another support. Perhaps they can pick up a mid or potentially a carry here as well. So there's a lot that they can do with here. And it's a little early to see what they want to do. I mean, with these 2 pickups, nothing's really set in stone. You can't really tell, are they going to do an aggressive tri-lane, or are they going to do a safe lane, something like that. And that's kind of the good thing about this new draft, is that with 2 heroes, you don't really know a whole lot about both sides. And that's why I like the new pick ban phase. And I think you mentioned that earlier as well.
5 seconds.
And they will, of course, go into reserve time with 138 seconds left here. And with Typical Mistakes, they do run some nice supports that they like to go with, of course, Nyx Assassin from time to time, which is available, by the way, and in conjunction with that Bane might do well. Of course, ganking with Vendetta is really nice to have. They're going to go ahead and pick up the Alchemist, though. That's going to be their carry right now, and Alchemist, of course, just a great farmer. We saw it in the last game last night with Pain versus the side of Smeagol, and Alchemist got so much gold early on, unfortunately was not able to help his team succeed against Smeagol, as, of course, the Gyrocopter picked up the Rapier there. So, Alchemist, a good pickup. And in the end, that's actually a pretty aggressive lane, of course, if you get that unstable concoction going with the Bane Nightmare as well. So, could be a lot of damage coming out from Typical Mistakes early on.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they can still run it a different number of ways. You can always run mid with Alchemist as well, so it's really difficult to tell what Typical Mistakes plans to do here. Of course, like you mentioned, Alchemist and Bane, pretty good in lane together, but probably not strong enough to go against anything Pain puts up, as long as the Visage is there. So they might try their best to avoid him. And so Shadow Demon, another really good tri-lane hero. If they were to I'm not too sure what they could pick here to fight against that tri-lane, so I'm pretty sure they should be trying to avoid this tri-lane. Maybe pick up a jungle or do some double roam strat. I'm not too sure.
Well, that's a good pickup right there. Ogre Magi with that stun, and I mean, a lot of people underrate the Bloodlust. Bloodlust is a great ability as well. The good thing about the Shadow Demon pickup for Pain Gaming, that disruption onto Alchemist, if he's about to cast his Unstable Concoction, is pretty nice to have. Allows your teams to retreat and get out of that bad position that you might be put in if Alchemist is charging up that Unstable Concoction. But Ogre Magi has sort of been a pocket pick, I'd say a little bit, been picked a lot more recently. And just the Fire Blast stun does a lot of damage, and on top of that, Bloodlust just makes your hero so much more difficult to deal with on top of that. So I think that's an interesting pickup from Typical Mistakes, but like you said, I think Pain Gaming's tri-lane here is very, very strong, and I don't see Typical Mistakes trying to go against that, even with that Ogre Magi pickup there.
Right. It's like Ogre Magi, I think, is a really good pickup here. I'm pretty sure they're going to be just running around and trying their best to get a couple of levels. Once they get Bloodlust going, it's like really easy to take towers because you just put that thing on Lone Druid's Bear and it'll just demolish towers instantly.
Yeah. So we'll see Ogre Magi just dishing out the Bloodlust as much as possible, making it really difficult to try and engage in fights later on into the game for Pain Gaming. Once you get some levels, once you get some items up on those carries on the side of Typical Mistakes. And Pain Gaming, well, they've got 58 seconds of reserve time. They're going to go for the Brewmaster. And that's probably going to be a mid-brew? I'm not 100% sure, but at this point, you probably see Gyro, Visage, and Shadow Demon in that tri-lane together, and I think brew is the logical mid here.
Yeah, brew is a really good pickup, mainly because of how effective he is against a Lone Druid. You just continuously cycle in that bear, and there's nothing he can do about it. He just becomes a gigantic creep walking around in team fights. As far as the tri-lane goes, they can still pick up another core hero. And you can always safe lane solo a gyrocopter if they want to go aggressive tri-lane. Right. So we'll have to see what they decide to do.
Yeah, they do have that option, of course, and they've got 56 seconds left in reserve time to ban out something here and maybe even pick up that carry like you were talking about. Typical Mistakes, they've got pretty much their support set up. They've got both carries. They just need a mid at this point. Like you said, you can always send Alchemist mid, but at this point I don't think that's exactly what's going to happen here. In Typical Mistakes, they've got quite a few picks that can be used for mid heroes. I mean, there's a lot of mid heroes that are available, especially since the new changes. So, that being said, we will see.
It's really hard to predict what they're planning to take as the last hero. It's they don't really have much range. I think they really need a way to stop the Brewmaster before he can ulti. So whatever they pick here, I think it's okay, I guess.
Silence could work, though. I mean, before. That's tough to hit, and at the same time, is that going to last long enough for you to focus down the Brewmaster? But the Sunlock as well from Fire Blast shortly after. But like you said, I mean, like, maybe a Roar would have been good there for, like, a Beastmaster coming out mid. But they will end up going Death Prophet, which is a very interesting pickup when you think about it. And that's actually a lot of push and a lot of damage early on as well with Exorcism. So very interesting
10
pickup.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty smart pick here because
5 seconds remaining.
they have a very, very like sturdy lineup. It's really hard to kill any of them apart from Bane. Everyone has like a ton of health, and just by surviving in fights, they'll probably be able to take it because of all the damage over time they have. They can just drop acid, pop exorcism, ignite, all this kind of stuff. They just keep spamming stuff, and they can just stay in the fight, and they'll win eventually. Whereas Pain Gaming, they only have this like small window to get the stuff done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And with that pickup of the Juggernaut, that's going to allow it for during team fights, having that healing ward I think is a really big deal, and especially with pushes as well. They're going to rely on Juggernaut and Brewmaster for that early damage, taking that bear out of the fight as well. And then, of course, Pride to get the job done with that Gyrocopter, which we saw yesterday on the side of Mojo Stormset when they played up against Smeagol. That being said, we're going to jump into the first game of the night. Of course, it is a best of one here. We've got 3 games tonight. This is, of course, Typical Mistakes versus Pain. We have Pain versus Pain International after that. And then the last game of the night will be Typical Mistakes versus Arctic Gaming. So, really excited to be casting here for you guys. Please let us know if there are any issues in chat. And we'll jump into the game. There is, of course, a disconnected player on the side of TM, and it looks like it is, in fact, Goody. But while we've got a second here, we're going to jump into the game and get some introductions going. So, on the side of Pain, we can see Ned. He'll be up on the Shadow Demon. We're going to see Fuzzy. He'll be on the Brewmaster. BG4I20 is going to be on the Visage there. Mina will be on the Juggernaut. Pride will be on the Gyrocopter to round out the lineup. Meanwhile, on the side of Typical Mistakes, we'll have Cakes on the Lone Druid. Sheep will be on the Ogre Magi. Death Prophet on, or excuse me, Ryu on the Death Prophet. Sleazel on the Bane, and that leaves Goody on, what was that? The Alchemist. That's right, the Alchemist. So, forgot for a second, but remembering now. Apologies. And we're going to wait to see once people jump into the game.
I think you should just call the Visage BG420. I'm pretty sure that's what he's going for.
Yeah, that probably is what he's going for, but well, I don't know. We'll see. If he wants to be called that, we can go for that.
So I'm kind of curious as to see how Typical Mistakes is going to lane this. I think that's going to be a Death Prophet mid, most likely going to protect their Alchemist, and then well, maybe they have to go safe lane Syllabear and offensive tri-lane, because it's really dangerous to offensive tri-lane the Lone Druid now, because if that bear dies, that's a huge advantage for the opposing team that kills it, because 300 gold is a big deal. That's
a lot
like
money.
2 sets of wards.
Well, what we saw yesterday coming out from Typical Mistakes when they picked up the Lone Druid was that they sent Cakes into the jungle, and he was able to get decent farm because the opposing side, whoever they were playing against, which was Smeagol, they sent up a Clockwork, I believe, into a defensive tri-lane. He didn't get nearly as much farm nor experience, so Cakes might just, altogether abandon that bottom lane if they decide to go for a defensive tri-lane on the side of Pain, which they could, or they can go aggressive. Still, I mean, there's a bunch of different opportunities here for the side of Pain and Typical Mistakes realistically here. What it's going to come down to, I think, is whose supports are going to be more effective later on into the game. Because you have Fire Blast, but, I mean, that will scale a little bit less as it goes through the game. But Shadow Demon's all around just a good hero just for defensive positioning. And Disruption, Soul Catcher, Poison even to get Vision, and Demonic Purge are really good utilities. Visage as well with the Familiars can start being really aggressive in the late game, especially if he picks up an Aghanim Scepter. But you can never really count out Sleazel as well with the Fiend's Grip on that Bane. So what it comes down to, who gets the farm, how are the supports going to win their lanes, and, well, I guess we have time to find that out, as we still have that pause coming from Goody. Of course, he is from Venezuela, the only South American player on the side of Typical Mistakes. So we will wait for him to reconnect to the game. We apologize for the interruptions. I know you guys have been waiting for a while here, but such is life, I suppose.
Such is life. Something to note is that Pain's team doesn't have all too many disables apart from a Disruption and Brewmaster ulti. So it gives a lot of space for the Bane, and that grip is going to be very key in team fights, because if he's able to take out Gyro out of the fight, then Pain will be lacking a lot of damage. Like, they seriously have no damage remaining.
Right.
And I think the thing Typical Mistakes needs to do in this game is, if they can get momentum going for taking towers, I believe they're going to spiral out of control in this game. There's no way Pain can defend if they possibly take two or three towers by, I'll probably say, like 12 or 13 minutes.
And they could do that because they have that exorcism, especially if they send the Death Prophet into the mid lane. And that'll be some nice early game damage, of course, not only on towers but on players as well. In case, of course, with the Lone Druid, well, that's going to be the big deal, is what items he decides to go for, if they decide to go for that early push, or whether or not they're just going to let him just sit in off lane while they push together as 4. And that might be what they're going to do. Of course, they have that Alchemist who also needs quite a bit of money to be effective, but he gets that money quicker than most other heroes just because of that Grievel's Greed. All of this theory crafting coming together still doesn't matter until we get in the game, but I guess Goody's internet, not sure what's happening with it. Hopefully he gets back soon.
There's a lot of theory crafting going here. I mean, these are their picks are definitely new to me. I'm like looking around, thinking of what could happen. One of the things I came up with is that by having Alchemist, Acid Spray, and since it's such a large area, it really does make your Exorcism do a lot more damage, because Exorcism is physical damage.
Right.
So that's something to note. So if they were to fight under a tower, and there's Acid Spray and Exorcism, if Pain commits, that's going to be a lot of damage. If they want to take Rosh early, Acid Spray, Exorcism, that's going to be a very quick kill. So
And this is actually a level 1 Roche lineup. I mean, this can do level 1 Roche because you've got the Bear, you got Bloodlust early on from Ogre Magi. Sleaze will probably just be providing support. Does Enfeeble works? Can that work on Roshan? I'm not 100% sure if that can work on Roshan.
I'm not sure. I think it's only for... Well, actually, maybe it works.
Because it says enemy units.
Unfortunately, they don't have any way to break
the shield, yeah.
The shield, yeah.
So that would be the tough part, I guess.
They would have to Fire Blast, but if he gets Fire Blast, then it's no Bloodlust.
Or maybe Unstable Concoction, though, for the Alchemist.
I don't think you can actually stun Rush with that.
No? Okay. Well, I'm just throwing out ideas here, guys, and clearly just trying to make up time, but still waiting. Ned asking for how long, looking for an ETA. I don't blame him. I mean, it is currently right now 7:30 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. The game was supposed to start at 7. Of course, the pick phase does take a while, but Goody's internet can go down from time to time. Payne being pretty nice about it, letting it go so far.
I feel bad for Ned for having to play Shadow Demon again. Yeah. I'm pretty sure yesterday he was playing Shadow Demon, now he's playing Shadow Demon again. Hopefully he has better results.
He could.
Poor guy.
He had a rough game last. It was the third game, I believe, against Pain International that he played the Shadow Demon, right?
Yes. Yeah. Just kept getting blown up. Couldn't do anything.
In fact, he was on the Visage in the second game, and he played very well in that second game on that Visage. But this game, he's going to be on that Shadow Demon. Of course, he is very squishy. Could potentially build something like a Bracer early on, just to make him a little bit tankier. But it's going to be troublesome because supports generally are not going to get that much gold or experience, especially if you're playing that 5 role, which Shadow Demon almost always is. He's going to be getting wards. He'll get boots eventually when his team decrees that, he's allowed to get boots. Like, all right, fine. Here, you can get into the farm. You can take your boots. Stop complaining now, as long as we have a crow at like a minute into the game. So it's really going to be up to... the Visage should get kills and let, of course, Pride have farm, and then just Ned going to roam and gank as well. And that's another thing. You really need to be roaming and ganking, I think, especially if you're going to run that defensive tri-lane, because if you're doing a defensive tri-lane on both sides and there's no aggressive tri-lane, there's no clashing, you can easily just go ahead, smoke, and go to the mid lane, which happens all the time. It's a little bit more difficult to do in an aggressive tri-lane versus tri-lane, just because it's something that you're going to notice when the other two heroes are gone from that lane, especially if you have wards there too. So early smokes, I think, are going to be key, especially with the lineup they've got. They've got a Disruption and then a Grave Chill if Visage goes for that at level 1, or even gets it at level 2 after he's got that Soul Assumption. Meanwhile, on the side of typical mistakes, they do have the Nightmare and the Fire Blast as well, so they've just got as good as a ganking squad as Pain does. So with that in mind, it's going to come down to the roaming and just winning the lane overall. But we still don't know how the lane is going to carry out here, just because Goody is apparently restarting his computer. He'll be back soon, and Ryu jokingly says we want this game to be 3 hours long. Ha 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 ha.
Oh man, if it goes for 3 hours, that's not going to be a funny joke.
Yeah, it's like my lungs might explode. I don't know. We might just run out of things to theorycraft about.
Yeah. Speaking of 3-hour games, Lumi has finally finished his 2000 last hit PA game. That was a very weird game to watch. That was the first time I have ever seen a PA preemptively buy 3 rapiers in preparation for his death.
Wait, he bought the rapiers before the game was over and when they were winning?
No. They were losing.
Okay.
He was defending. And he had 36,000 gold or something. And they finally decided to go for the racks. And he died in the process. But before he died, he bought 3 rapiers and put it back in the base, so that when he bought back out, he could revive with 3 rapiers.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was that kind of game. I don't know how many rapiers were in that game, but I'm pretty sure it was in the double digits. So,
ladies and gentlemen, matchmaking in a nutshell right there. Like, only in matchmaking. Goody finally gets into the game. There's that big, beautiful Alchemist. We're going to jump into the game in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to remind you that you are, in fact, watching Mott and, of course, Aosin. AC cannot be here tonight. He is on his way to DreamHack Summer in Sweden, so he'll be away for a few days. So you've got me to look forward to for the next couple of days. Glad you're joining us here. The game's finally going to start, hopefully, once Goody says ready, once we get a good from both sides, as every tower has been pinged, by the way, on the map. In case you guys are wondering, these are all pinged.
The players are losing their patience.
And now a disconnect from a caster. But now we will get a go, and we'll get a ready as well. So what about Pain? Are they good to go? Maybe someone will disconnect from their side. Who knows?
Wow, did you see Ned? He just ran his drawing thing across the river, and he sketched it out very very nicely. It was really impressive. Yeah.
I see you doing that right there. Look at that.
Jesus.
Artistry.
His was so patient. It was incredible.
Some people have those skills. I am not one of them. When I'm drawing something on the screen or on the map, it generally looks like this, anything like that. But we'll get back into the introductions as we've been away for a little bit here. Sheep is going to be up on that Ogre Magi for the side of typical mistakes. Sleazel on the Bane. Goody up on the Alchemist in that tri-lane. Ryu's going to be on the Death Prophet. And down on the bottom lane, Cakes is going to go to the Lone Druid, which is very surprising. We talked about how he potentially could go into, of course, the jungle, but that doesn't seem to be happening yet. He might just go ahead and abandon this lane altogether, which wouldn't take too much time. Meanwhile, on the side of Pain, Pride on the Gyrocopter, Fuzzy on the Brewmaster heading mid, BC 420, he'll be on the Visage, Ned, aka Edard Stark, will be on the Shadow Demon, and Mino, he's going to be on the Juggernaut. They're checking out for that level 1 Roche, and yeah, that's a smart move. I mean, they could have definitely done it with this lineup, but they decided to forego that, especially with Goody's long disconnect. So we will see a defensive tri-lane, I believe, in both lanes, unless they decide to rotate this up here. It looks like they might, actually, with the Juggernaut, the Shadow Demon, and the Visage. So like you said, they're going to actually give this solo safe lane up to Pride, and he should get good farm here. This bear trying to be aggressive, trying to pull the creep wave, potentially looks like he's going to go for it here with Cakes. So Sheep is actually rotating down bottom right now. Is it going to be duel versus duel is the question. That's an interesting sight here. Sheep, he's just trying to go for maybe that illusion. He's going to try to get it. He'll go ahead and use that Fire Blast on Pride, and Pride, of course, has to back off. So Sheep now going to pick up that illusion rune and maybe head back up top. Just satisfied with the illusion rune that he's gotten. So why not?
So yeah, these lanes are more or less what we expected. I think that Pain's tri-lane is going to be, I wouldn't say like a huge advantage, but it's definitely a little stronger. It really all comes down to how well this Bane can save his teammates. I think that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
One of the stronger points about their tri-lane is that Ogre and Alchemist are pretty difficult to kill. They have quite a lot of health compared to like almost 100 over, and they all have armor. So except Alchemist doesn't really have armor, but it's a lot more difficult to actually kill them compared to the Pain side.
Yeah.
If a Shadow Demon steps up too far or anything like that, he's most likely going to die, I think. So yeah, it really.
Yeah. And we will see that happen. Meanwhile, Fire Blast is going to go. That was on Ned. He'll take some damage there. But like you said, I mean, just with one Fire Blast, that puts Ned down just a little bit. He is going to eat a tree. He's going to throw up a Sentry Ward right next to this camp, so that will block the camp going. So not any pulling happening unless, of course, Bane uses that Sentry Ward, which he's got available to him. Right now under the tower, Alchemist, Goody continuing to get some last hits right now. 5 last hits down in the bottom lane for Cakes, 4 for the Gyrocopter, 5 in the mid lane for Ryu. So everything going swimmingly, but we want to keep our eye on this top lane right now. There is Enfeeble on Mino, who's having a very tough time last hitting because that's minus 30 attack damage. So that's gone. That's, what, 17 now with that Enfeeble on him? So
yeah,
that's very hard to get last hits with.
Yeah, this is actually really smart by typical mistakes. They're pretty much completely shut down Jug now. There's no way you can last hit with 17 damage, and he's holding on to. He has another Clarity, and Ogre Magi has another Clarity. There's going to be like, who knows, another 2 minutes of 17 damage. There's no way this Juggernaut can farm, and they're just gonna. Oh, there was an attempt to pull to the side, but they didn't get that off. So there's a huge wave coming in now.
Yeah, they will have to try to last hit under this tier 1 tower on the Radiant side, but Mino finally free from the bonds of Enfeeble, at least for the moment, thank God, he says. And he will hit up level 2 right now, and, well, this is the problem when you try to go aggressive tri-lane here, is that Ned and BG420, they're not going to be getting a whole lot of experience. We already got 1 pull going for Sheep, as well as 1 pull going for the Bane now, and looks like they're going to pull again, and so they'll be able to get some experience here. Ned and BG420, they want to try to contest this, at least take a few last hits, or get some experience from the Dire Wave, but might not happen. We'll see, of course. Goody just trying to last hit. Meanwhile, Jug looking for some aggression here. Sleazel has to back off to the low ground. They cannot contest that pull on the side of the Radiant. I mean, the Radiant can, but the Dire cannot sit there without that Alchemist there to fight.
That is a really, that's like a really big problem for Pain. If they do this like a couple more times, there's gonna be a stage where
Soul Catcher, there's the spin, Goody in trouble, there's the Acid Spray going right now, with the Soul Assumption, that's gonna be enough for first blood. And BG420 is gonna take it now, they want to try to take Mino in the meantime, and they will in fact grab the kill there. He didn't get that healing ward up, and Sleazel is getting body blocked by the creeps. He'll Nightmare himself, meanwhile, looking to go on more. There's the TP coming back from the Alchemist. There's gonna be a Fire Blast potentially coming out from Ned. Do they want to fight this? They've got Unstable Concoction, and it's not gonna happen. So a nice pickup there. They get the kill. They get the first blood. A revenge kill going for Typical Mistakes, but they only lose Mino there. But the first blood did go to the Visage, so it wasn't like a kill. Now they're going to go again, actually. Mino attacking full health Soul. Catcher does miss. Goody's still taking damage with that slow. There's the stun coming in onto Ned right now. Goody looking to use that Unstable Concoction. It will go. Mino diving very far right now. Soul Assumption not there. Mino's going to pay for this, as you can see. They want to turn around on this. Mino's going to go down to the tower. No, he's got one, maybe two hits left as he's going to go down, and Caesar will pick up the kill. And now the dive, too far, way too far coming out from Mino there.
I like what they were trying to do, but they timed it a little off. The Visage was using his Clarity, and he was trying to get enough mana for a Soul Assumption. He was actually 2 mana off from Soul Assumption. And very nice play by Sleazel. He slept him, knowing just exactly what was going on, and he slept him before he could cast a Soul Assumption, and that allowed some time for Goody to get away, and the Juggernaut overextended, and that secured them a free kill.
Yeah, so just a little bit of a misplay coming out from the side of Pain gives the side of Typical Mistakes another kill there, and that was Bane grabbing that kill. He's grabbed 2 kills on that Juggernaut in a row, so Sleazel okay with that gold right now. He's got boots, as you can see. Sentry wards up around him, so he's actually got that gold. He's doing pretty well for himself. And they might go again here. They've got full man on the Juggernaut. Ned has enough for at least a disruption. Probably not for a Soul Catcher. Actually, maybe just enough. And about 10 seconds. Meanwhile, mid lane, Ryu's absolutely dominating this lane with 22 last hits and compared to the 16 now on the side of the Brewmaster. Brewmaster cannot stand in with that Crypt Swarm doing a lot of that damage. So he's got a regen. He's actually almost level 6, by the way. And Cakes has got 26 last hits down here in the bottom lane. And on top of that, Pride's only got 17. So the CS definitely going in favor of Typical Mistakes. That first blood was going to the side of Pain, but other than that, there's not a whole lot going on here for Pain Gaming.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Typical Mistakes. And the biggest problem that Pain has now is that they're pretty much losing all 3 lanes, and because of the type of heroes they have, there's almost nothing they can do about it. They basically have to keep sitting in their lanes until Fuzzy is able to make a move. They have to wait for him to hit 6, and once he hits 6, he has to be really, really effective with his ultimate. And if that doesn't happen, Typical Mistakes is just gonna keep building on this lead, and to the point where Pain is gonna have close to like a really small chance of stopping their aggression and lose like all their towers in one go.
Meanwhile, Soul Catcher coming up in the top lane. Nice Nightmare coming out from Sleazel right as that was going to go on Mino, but it doesn't matter. There's the Soul Catcher on Goody taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down right now. Sleazel and I'm a Sheep, they're looking to get some revenge kills here, but of course there's the healing wave, and Fuzzy's up top right now. Soul Assumption on Sheep. He's in some trouble. Brewmaster's going to get 1 kill, 2 kills with that giant mace. Fuzzy picking up there in that tri-lane. Now that goes badly, and Ryu's up here. He's going to run right, of course, into Fuzzy, who is level 6 now. He's got enough mana for his Primal Split. Not going to use it. He actually might try to go on Ryu here. Ryu can use his ult, but that is physical damage, by the way, so it potentially could be dangerous for Fuzzy. Fuzzy still wants to chase no mana for that Thunderclap, or excuse me, Primal Split. So Ryu will get away. He's going to throw up a Crypt Swarm as well, but not enough damage from it. And so Ryu's going to just bottle up, and Typical Mistakes, they lose a little bit of golden experience, and the big deal is just Goody going down once again. He's had some rough times here. He is sitting at 26 CS, but he's had 2 deaths right now, which is not exactly what he wanted here.
That was really big for Pain. They really needed that. They were almost like 2,000 experience behind. Like, this is only 7 minutes in, so they really needed that triple kill up top. This kind of evens it up a bit again. If you take a look at the graph, it's like 500 now behind. It's not too big of a gap. It's pretty even again. One of the bigger problems though is that this Syllabear is still continuing to grow, while Gyrocopter, he's not doing too bad, but he's definitely nowhere near as doing as well as the Lone Druid.
Yep, and we actually see BG420. He's heading down to the bottom lane right now to maybe help out Pride. Lone Druid's going to go ahead and just do the Ancient stack while this is happening, so BG420 is going to be waiting for a while down here in the bottom jungle. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Thunderclap going again, but Ryu returning the favor with a Crypt Swarm, and that'll just end the aggression there. Up top, Ned, he's here alone with Mino, so they can't do anything aggressive right now. But the Ogre Magi is actually kind of a little far away here. Starting to get close with Sleazel, who looks like he is stacking. They will go for a pull here in just a moment. And this will give some more room for Goody to farm, who is sitting at 34 CS. Pride is tied with him right now, but like you said before, Cake's getting that farm, especially the Ancient farm there early on, going to be super helpful. He's already got regular boots on that Spirit Bear. Phase boots are going to be next. And I'm just waiting for Ryu to just maybe roam around and look for an exorcism, at least on some tower in some fight, in some capacity. Ryu hasn't done so just yet, but definitely has the option to.
I think what they're waiting for is they're trying. I think they're just waiting out Brewmaster's ultimate. They're waiting to see what he ends up doing with it, because if Brewmaster has his ultimate, then Exorcism isn't really going to do much. They can always just Cyclone Death Prophet and walk away. And if they decide to try to push a tower, you can fight with Primal Split. Like there's no problem defending with a Primal Split. So I think they're content with just continuing farming all 3 lanes right now.
Meanwhile, another disruption on Goody. He'll pop Chemical Rage, so he's got that going for him. They decided not to go on him as he was right underneath that tower. Sleazel and Sheep were not necessarily the closest by, but they could have gotten there in a jiffy. And Ryu, of course, with the phase boots and the bracer right now, looks like he could be going for Drum. And Fuzzy's just going to take more damage here. They're both out of mana, so not a whole lot they can do. And so just kind of the farm game for both sides right now. You've got 4 kills for Pain, but the farm is leading for Cakes and Typical Mistakes right now. But up in the top lane, Acid Spray's going to go down. Goody's going to back off to the tower, realizing he's a little out of position. And another pull is going to come through here, it looks like, from Sleazel and Sheep. No, they're just going to go ahead and just stack up some camps here, it looks like, which will give some more farm to Goody eventually, or to the Lone Druid. And speaking of the Lone Druid, he's got 1,400 gold, he's got the boots, he's got the Orb of Venom. And they're just waiting right now. Goody's very far out here. You definitely can get initiated on. There's the disruption. Soul Catcher's going to go. He's way out of position right now. Goody, he's trying to run the other way. He's going to use the Chemical Rage right now, but there's no help. He's going to actually try to go for that stun. He's going to get it off, but Visage will pick up the kill. And I'm not sure what he was doing there as his team was roaming through mid for a smoke gank. He was way out of position.
Oh, bottom
Definitely
lane
not
as
what
well.
they wanted. Bottom now. There's going to be the cooldown on Cakes. Cakes is in some trouble as well. Healer's going to fall. Of course, that Rocket Barrage is going to get the damage there. Meanwhile, there's the Crypt Swarm. Ryu's getting chased here from the side of the Primal Split. Now, Gyrocopter's going to run into, of course, Pride here. Sleazel looking for a Nightmare, looking for something. He's going to sit right next to him. There's the Fire Blast, the Brain Sap. That's going to get the kill. Now, Fuzzy trying to get away from, of course, Ryu. Ryu not using that Exorcism. They will not chase this. But in the end, that's 2 down on the side of Typical Mistakes for Gyrocopter. And Goody's dead again.
That was definitely a much better trade for Pain. They took out 2 of their core heroes. But I think even though they killed the 2 of them, they can't really do anything with it. They're just gonna have to continue this farming game. I think they can't really take out. But he's might go down again.
Goody, no, he's gonna get Soul Grave Shield, excuse me. And Mino looking for the Omni Slash. There it goes. That does a lot of damage. Did not see that he was sick. So Mino picking up the kill with the Omni Slash, no problem there. And Goody, now he's dead 4 times, and that is not what you want at all.
Yeah, Pain is doing really well right now. They're just, like I mentioned before, Fuzzy had to do something really big with his Panda play, and he did just that. I mean, first he had a Haste Rune, he went up top, got 2 kills, went to bottom, killed the Silver Bear as well. He's like sitting in a really comfortable position now. Obviously not the best, but definitely a lot better
He's
than.
going to get Bean Script right now. He doesn't have Primal Split. There's no way he's going to get out of this. There's going to be a rotation coming through. There's the Silence. Fuzzy's dead. Bane picking up the kill with, of course, the Brain Sap. Ned now going to try to push this back, but here comes the creep wave. They want to take this tower. The Exorcism not doing a whole lot. It's only level 1 Exorcism. Still going, though, doing a decent amount of damage here. They can. Nope, they already used the Fortification. Ned taking another Fire Blast. He's living very dangerously. In the meantime, Goody heading back top. Now a TP coming in, this time from the Visage. There's the Familiars coming in. Sheep is actually taking a lot of damage from these Familiars and the Soul Assumption, but not enough damage. And they'll push it back. This tower should not be in deny range. In fact, it is not. And so a little bit of Exorcism. They pick up the kill on Fuzzy, realizing that he did not have that Primal Split, so there was nothing that he could really do in that fight to escape.
Yeah, that was very smart by Typical Mistakes. So, like I mentioned, they're just waiting. Typical Mistakes is just waiting out the Panda Ultimate, because they definitely can't, at this stage at least, they can't really do anything until Fuzzy uses his ultimate.
Poor Ned. Ned's going to go down again to the Death Prophet in the mid lane, roughly. And, yeah, Ryu picking up a nice solo kill there. But, yeah, like you said, they're just going to wait for that Primal Split. It was on cooldown, and they want to play as aggressively as possible while that Primal Split is off cooldown. It's going to be off cooldown in 20 seconds. I should say they want to play as aggressively as possible when that Primal Split's on. Got my words mixed up there a little bit. But Mino, he's going to continue to farm. He's got, of course, a Basilius and Drum. No phase boots just yet, but that'll be coming next. Goody's sitting on treads. He's sitting on 900 gold right now. He's just going to farm the jungle. He's not really willing to head into that lane, and I don't blame him. That's a scary place to be for Goody. He will get that farm. He's only got 1 point in Grievel's Greed, and he wanted to be aggressive with that lane. You could tell with that 2 points in the Unstable Concoction and the Acid Spray, but it's just not enough with that really aggressive tri-lane coming out from Pain. But now bottom engagement. There's the disruption. Nice multicast on Ned. There's going to be the call down. Brain Tap's going to pick up the kill on Ned. Nice call down going, but there's the Fiend Script. Sleazel, he's right on the edge. He's taking a lot of damage from that blade here. He's got to cancel it. Meanwhile, there goes the Exorcism. Nice Fire Blast. The root on Domino. He's going to fall as well. And now Pride, he's got to back off. And meanwhile on the backside, here comes Fuzzy, here comes BG420. They're trying to get out. Sheep's very low. Now Ryu is trying to push them back. Nice use of that Crypt Swarm just to push them back again, and they will all escape from typical mistakes, and a very good fight for them as well. And Ryu, he actually might pick up this regen rune. Yeah, he will do so.
That was a really nice fight, typical mistakes. That was very close as well.
Fuzzy, what are you doing? He got silence. He's got to use that defensively. The
this is really big. This is really big for typical mistakes. I think now if they really wanted to, they can just go take a tower. I don't think there's any way Pain can stop them from taking a tower without Primal Split. They're smoked up and heading down right now. I'm really curious. I'm kind of surprised Death Prophet went for jumps first. I'm assuming she's going to pick up a mech after this, but once she gets the mech, I think it's going to be really... I think that's the turning point for typical mistakes. They can just start taking towers without worrying too much about... oh no, never mind. That's the Staff of Wizardry.
Okay, so interesting. Staff of Wizardry could be a couple of things. Maybe you'll Scepter of Divinity, get that regen going, and well, who knows? We'll see. We've got some time now. A TP coming in from Cage. There's 2 heroes down here. They smoked up. They're still here. Of course, Gyrocopter's going to come through. He's in the lane. He's going straight phase Aquila into an Ogre Club. So not even going for the drum. Of course, the Juggernaut has that drum, and that will provide them that extra swiftness aura, which is really nice to have. Speaking of carries on the other side, Goody now sitting at 2,000 gold. Grievel's Greed starting to come through and paying its dividends. Ryu now with, of course, 86 CS and 6,000 net worth as well. The Blink Dagger done for the Alchemist. Very interesting pickup there, but Ned walks right into a trap here. He's going to get Brain Sap, Fire Blast, and the Bear should take this down, but the call down is going for a Soul Assumption. Going to be a lot of damage coming on the Sheep if they use it. Yep, not yet. He's waiting. He's waiting. The Bear trying to block their path. Case is getting slowed. Of course, there's the Soul Assumption, as you can see. Nice Fire Blast. Multicast is going to go. Beam Strip, Blink, Goody's here. There's the Unstable Concoction. Chemical Rage as well. He's going to pick up the kill with his Acid Spray. Bane's going to fall to the Soul Assumption from BG420. But a 2-for-1 trade right now from the side of Typical 6, and they're still going with that Bear. It can be recreated if necessary. But here comes Fuzzy, and he's got Primal Split. Nope, still on cooldown, so he can't use it. And now the fight will break away.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, they definitely knew that Primal Split was down. And I honestly did not know Goody just picked up a Blink Dagger. I thought that was really funny. He just came out of nowhere and just blew someone out.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good item choice here too. I think this is actually the way they can stop the Panda from ulting. If he blinks in and just stuns them, they can blow him up like immediately. And here it comes again. Visage is definitely gonna die from this.
He's gonna go the Bear, wants to get a root, now he's trying to run. Nice familiar stun coming out there, but the Knight's gonna slow him down, as you can see. Soul Assumption on that Bear, but the Brain Sap from Sleazel will be enough. And meanwhile, mid lane now, trying to TP out. Ryu will just make it in time. As Fuzzy and Ned, they have no way to stop that that TP coming out from the Death Prophet. As Fuzzy's Primal Split's on cooldown, Thunderclap's not going to stop that. Disruption was already used. Nicely done, and they're going to take the bottom tower as well. So typical mistakes. Struggled early in that tri-lane, doesn't matter. And that is, of course, that Yule Scepter of Divinity done for the Death Prophet. That is a nice item to have. 5,000 experience lead, 4 typical mistakes, and 7,500 gold lead right now. And now they're on a roll, like you talked about. They've got this roll going through the mid game. Fuzzy, he's got his ultimate. He can potentially fight mid. But Sleazel's roaming through as well, and they've got control of this dire jungle Radiant jungle right now, as you can see.
Oh, and here we go.
Exorcism.
Oh, he missed the silence. But Ned has no mana.
Ned is dead. Ned is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Ryu, Primal Split going. Ryu, he can use himself if necessary. There's the Omni Slash. He's taking a lot of damage. Nice magic wand usage to spin. They won't be able to catch him. Ryu's
He
getting
is
out
so
there right
fast.
now. Goody's just trying to take up as much damage as possible here. Fire Blast looking for Mino. It's gonna go. Meanwhile, the Familiar's doing some damage. Unstable Concoction. That's gonna fly. That's gonna help pick up the kill. Sheep getting it with his Fire Blast. Fuzzy. Now, he's of course sleeped. Sleazel doing the job there. They have no damage. They're waiting. They're waiting for Arcane Boots. They get another kill on the backside coming through with Ryu chasing after the Visage. Now Fuzzy, Brain Sap again. Now a nice Fire Blast stopping that Thunderclap. The Blink and the Unstable Concoction picking up the kill for Goody. And they're just massacring everybody on the game right now. And they're just playing really out of sorts. Pain Gaming Brazil not looking good in this game.
So here comes the that momentum I was talking about. They're just gonna roll through every single tower, take Raj. They're gonna build this like close to 10,000 gold lead, and they'll sit really comfortably there until they feel like taking a Rax.
Close to 10,000. At this point, it is 10,000. It's a 10,000 lead. So right now, looking good for Typical Mistakes, and there's still a lot of time left in this game, but they need that Gyrocopter to get farm, and he's quite a ways away from anything, including a BKB. Whereas you look at, I mean, the Alchemist is not going to be carrying the hardest because he's got that Blink Dagger, but Ryu's already got the Eul Scepter of Divinity, and Cakes, I mean, I have to check on his bear, actually. I want to see what he's got. That bear is going for Radiant, so he's got a Relic right now, and Cakes is the recipe away from it, and I don't think it's, yeah, he's just got to farm the recipe now in order to get that Radiance, which is going to be a 20 minutes Radiance, and that's a pretty good timing there. So looking very good for Typical Mistakes. They're not going to pressure anymore. Of course, that Exorcism is on cooldown for a little bit. Primal Split was used, so that's on cooldown for 75 seconds. And this is the problem with the Brewmaster, and we talked about it at length, is just this is a long cooldown, especially even at level 2. It's a long cooldown. Yeah,
and like I mentioned, their lineup is basically like completely reliant on this Brewmaster's ultimate, and without it, they can't do anything, and Exorcism is only 100 seconds, so they have like this huge window where they can just... Oh, and mid.
Yeah, they're throwing a Grave Chill up on Cakes there and trying to push the tier 1. There's going to be the Acid Spray going. Cakes is here with that bear. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Exorcism is going. Pride's going to TP out. Fuzzy looking to go, but there's the Fiend's Grip as Sheep and Sousa come from the backside. Fuzzy's going to go down. They're going to take the tier 2 down here with Exorcism. There's a fortification available. They're not going to pop it. And somehow they push back the mid lane. There's 3 heroes here for Pain, and they're pushing this back with the Lone Druid. And Alchemist isn't even there right now.
All they had to do was drop Acid Spray. He just dropped Acid Spray and he just walked away, and they couldn't push anymore. So, like, this is like a huge problem for Pain now. Like, Cakes is about to pick up his Radiance. Once he picks up his Radiance, like, you look how far behind Pain's support are. Like, Shadow Demon can only stand in the fight for like 10 seconds before he dies just to Radiance. You know, and like this is gonna be a really big problem for them. They can, I think Typical Mistakes is like they have such a big advantage now, a big enough advantage they can just go take Rax now at the stage after they finish Rush.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a fast Rush. There's nothing that Pain can do about this. They're gonna smoke. They're not gonna get there anywhere near in time. This should provide enough gold for that Radiance recipe. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It actually might be flying out to him now. Yep, there it is. And a Gem of True Sight going for Sleazel, and that's gonna be huge to have. And Mino looking to initiate. He has level 1 Omni Slash still. He would like level 2, obviously. Fuzzy definitely has that ult. It's available now, finally, so they can potentially fight here, but they're so far down, like you talked about, with that Radiance available. Is going to be super nice to have. Sheep, of course, he's got some items as well. And if I just looked at Goody, by the way. He's got Hyperstone and a Vitality Booster, so he wants a little bit of both right now. He wants that attack speed as well as just the health. And in the mid lane, Sleazel's going to back off. And coming around on the backside, Sheep is on an aggressive warding mission here as he comes through, and he walked right through a Radiant Ward, by the way, and they're not even going to do anything about that, surprisingly enough.
They're definitely afraid. I mean, they have every right to be really afraid. They have to play very, very far back and very careful. They can't give up any more kills and provide Typical Mistakes an even bigger lead than they already have. I'm kind of surprised that Death Prophet is just holding on to 4.3k gold. I'm not too sure what he's going to buy, but if he... I guess they're letting the Ogre Magi, I'm a Sheep Sucks, to get the mech. He probably has it in like 500 gold or something like that, and maybe Death Prophet will pick up a Pipe of Endurance and a Pipe of Insight, sorry. And once they have that,
your audience confused. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Cakes is gonna go down. They used everything, but that's just the Aegis now. The TPs are coming in from the rest of the team, and they're wrapping around now. Cakes just absolutely decimates Ned. He's trying to go for, of course, BG420, but Lone Druid will go down. But here's the Exorcism. BG420, YOLO, not so much the silence. Can he get out? No, the Exorcism and the stun from Sheep Tornadoed up is, of course, going to be Goody, but meanwhile, they'll pick up another kill. That one's going to be on Pride. There's only one left. It's the Brewmaster. He's trying to escape. There's going to be that Thunderclap. Meanwhile, the stun from Goody. Is it available? Can he blink forward and get it? 2.5. There it goes. Fuzzy now in trouble. He's going to try to body block. There's the Brain Sap, the Silence, as well as the Exorcism, and the Crypt Swarm following up. Ryu grabbing a double kill, and that is an entire team wipe, despite the fact that Ned respawned in time to get back to the fight if necessary. But that's a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, that was
Worst case.
that was like really, that was probably like the best case scenario for Pain already. They got rid of the Syllabear, and Syllabear is a huge source of their damage, and that was with an Aegis too, and they still managed to kill him. But unfortunately, the rest of the Typical Mistakes party members, they came up behind. They killed Jug before he could even do anything. They just gripped him, and once he was dead, that's pretty much all their damage gone. It was just a Panda ultimate remaining, and I think Gyro was still there, but he was trying to fight Death Prophet one-on-one with the Exorcism up, and that Exorcism just demolished him.
Yeah, and it is level 3 Exorcism, by the way. He did just get level 16, so it probably was 2 at the time. He's also got a Scythe done, so there's that. So just going for that Scythe. And speaking of mech, nobody picking that up just yet for Typical Mistakes. They might not even go for it at this point. They should, but, you know, they don't have to with such a lead that they've got. That being said, they still can absolutely throw this game, and of course there could be a miraculous comeback from Pain, but Ned just trying to survive against this Ogre Magi who's bloodlusted. Ned's like, leave me alone. Actually, there's the Omni Slash coming in from Mino. I didn't even see him come through, but he does get the kill. So Sheep is getting a little greedy, and he just took like 3 slashes to the face, and they carved him open. So
Yeah, that actually isn't that bad. That actually might even be worth it, in my opinion. Like, Omni Slash is a huge source of their damage, and he just made them use it. He doesn't really even need the gold. When he comes back up, he's still holding on to 2.7k gold. Like, oh, he buys a Blink Dagger. So they clearly understand where they stand in this game. They don't even need a mech. They're so far ahead. They're just doing whatever.
the game is not over yet, despite the fact that they have a 20,000 experience and gold lead. I mean, the game is never over. That being said, they still have that ridiculous lead, and Alchemist is looking to become what would be considered a raid boss. And, well, Aosin, have you ever played World of Warcraft before?
I have played it in vanilla.
Yes, vanilla.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. All right. That's the right answer.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, he's definitely going to be close to him. I mean, actually, he's not even the real raid boss. They can't even kill this Death Prophet. Have you seen this Death Prophet move around? If she puts on phase, she has 521 movement speed. That's 1 movement speed below
Mino. He's gonna get defensively disrupted. Ryu, yeah, he's pretty speedy right now. As you can see, he also has that haste rune. Just trying to evade everything as possible here. There goes the Earth Panda doing some damage with that boulder. Meanwhile, the, of course, Water Panda, or Air Panda, is gonna go down, excuse me. Now Fuzzy's in some trouble. There's the Brain Sap, the Thunderclap, the Crypt Swarm, Fuzzy, the Exorcism chasing him still. Wicked sick. Meanwhile, Goody somewhere else picks up a kill on poor Ned, who just cannot catch a break this game. Maelstrom is up now for Goody. And, yep, the raid boss. Well, there's like 3 of them here. We might just need 3 raid bosses all together. Looking to take the tier 3 tower. Fortification's gonna fly, but, you know, at this point, they're looking for that Phoenix Grip on Mino. He'll go down next, and he'll buy back, but now BG420, he's gonna get silenced as well. The mech is gonna save his life. Pride has the BKB, but really, what can they do here? Cooldown's gonna go. Full Scepter's gonna, of course, save Ryu for the time being. The Bear's gonna go down. Pigskin, meanwhile, respawn it. Nice multicast going to BG420. He's very low. Stable Concoction. Goody looking to throw it. Hits on Pride. Nice BKB destroying coming through. Now Goody has to back off, taking a lot of damage. Now TP coming through as well. The stun. Blink coming out from Sheep. Fuzzy looking to fight. He did not use his Primal Split, by the way. There's the Omni Slash going. He's doing a lot of damage to that Bear. Bear's down for another 100 seconds, and they're pushing his back slowly but surely. And now there's all 4 of them together. Sheep gonna try to Fire Blast Pride, but Sheep is gonna fall. This is picking up that kill. Meanwhile, Sleazel trying to get out. There's
what
the
a disruption
going in on Ned right now, saving his life away from Ryu. TP coming out from Ned, just trying to get out. The Familiars, they want to stun Ryu. He's just trying to juke this as much as possible. Doing a good job of it so far. No TP for him. They're still chasing after him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Sleazel's just going to get out scot-free. He's got a 4-staff, and that's going to be the end of the chase. So Typical Mistakes, they lose a few heroes there. They take the tier 3, but not the racks. And they did pretty well. I don't think they lost really anything besides the Bear. And Goody, I think, was able to TP back in time. He actually might have brought back, but I don't believe he did.
No, I don't think they only lost an ogre at the end, but they did lose 2 bears, which is pretty big. That's 600 gold, and I did see that it was the gyro.
Fight mid. Maybe. Demonic Persian, goody. Soul Catcher, nice force staff. Call down. He's gonna call down. He's gonna take more damage. Omni Slash not available. He wants to throw it. He's gonna throw it on Pride. Goody taking a lot of damage with that Soul Catcher. He's not dead yet. There's the Fiend's Grip to save his life on Mino, but Goody will go down from the Shadow Poison. Exorcism for Ryu. That's gonna get a kill. Fuzzy, he's got an Earn Charge on him. He's very low. Silence going on BG, but he's very quick. There's the Mecha to save his life for the time being. Force staff forward. Sleazel looking for a Nightmare on somebody, anybody. Doesn't matter. BG's gonna go down before it anyways. With the Exorcism, that's a monster kill for Ryu now. They just keep picking up kills. Goody did fall, however, and now Kix is going to push up the top lane here and wait for that bear to respawn. But there's fights everywhere right now, but typical mistakes, and they're at it again.
Yep. I think this is... Omnislash is going to be back up. They're going to have all their ultimates back up again when the bear makes it there. I wouldn't be surprised if typical mistake just plays it safe here and just waits for the next Roshan at this point. Mm-hmm. But I'm really surprised that none of them are getting the important teamfight items. I think if they picked up, Mecha and Pipe, they'd definitely be able to break the base by now. But it's up to them.
Lazy play coming out from typical mistakes in that regard. It's just that they don't want to pick up those items. They might have a good reason for not doing so, but at the same time, just make your life easier. Pick up the mech, pick up the Pipe, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, what they have right now is actually still really good. They have all this. They have so much mobility. There's no way you can escape what they have. Like, this ogre can blink up and just destroy your support if he's lucky. If he's not lucky, someone else can follow up. And Alchemist also with a blink, and his stun is huge. Anyone he stuns is pretty much gonna die, before being able to do anything. And Bane has a force staff. He's gonna grip. Most likely Jug or Gyro or something like that. And what do you do as Pain? You only have one disrupt. Who are you gonna disrupt?
It's generally been defensive disruption, just because they're like, well, we're all taking a lot of damage now, so I guess we just better survive. And so it's not like they can even disrupt offensively. And yeah, maybe you can disrupt, but who are you going to disrupt? That's a good question. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Exorcism still goes even if you're disrupted, so that's not really going to be a big factor. Alchemist might be a good disruption if you can get it defensively, but, that's easier said than done. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Fuzzy with a DD, looking to go on Sleazel, who's trying to TP out here, and Fuzzy cannot fight that, or he doesn't want to waste his ultimate, I suppose. And he'll pick up an Aghanim Scepter as well, so there's that going for Bane right now. That Fiend's Grip is upgradable, with, of course, the 10% mana drain, the duration, 7 seconds, and damage is 215, so the cooldown is still 100 seconds, that does not change, but the Aghanim Scepter is pretty nice in general. Roshan, not available, actually is just about to spawn, so it's been 10 minutes since the last Rosh, surprisingly enough, and now a smoke gank coming out from Ned, from Fuzzy. They're looking for anything for something, and meanwhile, Typical Mistakes is more concerned with a Rosh fight right now. And,
they've been revealed, so they know. This will be... Yeah, I think they're going to have to give it up. They understand. They already lost their smoke, and any chance of them contesting this Roshan is now lost, so they're just going to have to farm up as much as they can in these next 10 seconds, and then sit back at base and try to defend again.
Goody's going to go ahead and pick up that Aegis of the Immortality. Cakes doesn't have it, but he's already pretty tanky enough. I mean, he's got an AC on his bear, so there is that. He's going to give you some nice armor for the rest of your team, too. And, of course, he's got a... Nope, that Mjolnir is going for the Alchemist, so that's not a big surprise. The Radiance is done for the Lone Druid. It has been for a while. And everybody's up top here. They're not really, trying to get back to the base for the push here. They have a fortification, so they'll probably just use that and then TP back in. But they're not really ready for this, as you can see. And here comes the bear up on the high ground. They're just looking to go. Battlecry's going to go. Blink Dagger now pushes up for Fuzzy. It looks like that's what they wanted there. Of course, the Familiars are going to go ahead and stun that bear, but only for a moment. They're looking to go. Exorcism is going to get popped, as of course the fortification is down. Mino, everybody, they're looking for something. Mino's going to just jump right on in, but there's the Fiend's Grip going now on Mino, taking damage. Mino's going to fall first, it looks like. Call down's going to come. Going to hit everybody. It looks like not doing enough damage. Pride, Silence, Exorcism, obliterating him. Godlike for Ryu, they're still chasing Fuzzy. He cannot use his ultimate. DG 420 getting rid of it, but the bear falls down in the end. Buyback now coming in from everybody. The critical form and a double kill for Ryu. Right place for the Scorpion Tabs on Ned. There's the Omni Slash picking up a lot of damage for Ryu. Got him back on right now. Going for Rax. Ryu's still in trouble here. He's got that Art of Grasp. Very tanky. But it's not going to go. DG 420. Meanwhile, There's a nice disruption from Ned, saving the life of BG420. Lone Druid will pick up the kill on Ned and a double kill, getting on the side. Will he get the triple? No, it's going to go for the outfit for the acid spray. Aegis is going to go, the only one alive, of course. Mino is dead. Now Fudge is the last one left. This has got to be GG. No buybacks are left really for the side of the Radiant here. And typical mistakes, putting on a clinic in game 1 here tonight.
That was really good play by typical mistakes. They just steamrolled them. Honestly, I mean, it's not. I guess it's not that surprising. I mean, if you look at the lead, they're like 30,000 ahead and whatnot. Pain even had to buy back 2 or 3 times on different heroes, and he still couldn't kill anyone. Death Prophet was just way too overfarmed. She had a heart, she had Sheepstick, just unkillable at this point.
Yeah, and what was surprising to me, however, was the fact that they lost that tri-lane pretty heavily up in the top lane for typical mistakes. But it didn't matter at all, because they were winning the other 2 lanes. They had Death Prophet, who was going, you know, ridiculous mode. No deaths, by the way, for Ryu in this game. And Cakes, of course, in that Lone Druid down in the bottom lane, just making a fool out of that Gyrocopter on Pride. So, Pain, of course, they're going to be facing up Pain International in just a moment here, and they'll have a chance to redeem themselves. So, look to see if Pain can come back in the next game, of course. I want to thank everybody for joining us here. Check out AmericanDotaLeague.com, twitch.tv/AmericanDotaLeague as well. And follow American Dota at twitter.com/AmericanDota. If you liked our casting, give us some critiques in chat. My name is Mont. You can follow me at MontDota2, and with me tonight is Aosin. Aosin, any shoutouts, and where can they find you?
You can find me at twitter.com/EosinDota. Shoutouts to Lumi again for casting that ridiculously long game.
Yeah, that's impressive. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the next game in just a moment. Stick around. We'll be right back.